For the last few years, we've been watching this blurry line between entertainment and professional sports get thinner and thinner. We've seen YouTubers fighting retired MMA stars, basketball players stepping into the ring. It all felt like a spectacle, a show. But this morning, I think the show is officially over. Have you seen the medical report coming out of the Jake Paul camp?
I did. And honestly, it's hard to read. We aren't talking about a black eye or a bruised ego here. We are talking about full-blown maxillofacial reconstruction. The details are gruesome. 2 titanium plates, not just 1 on each side of his jaw, and having teeth removed just to facilitate the surgery. That sounds less like the aftermath of a boxing match, and more like the result of a high-speed car crash.
That's exactly what I thought. It puts a knot in your stomach. We've become so desensitized to the trash talk and the weigh-in theatrics that we forgot the physics involved. When you step in there with Anthony Joshua, we are talking about a former unified heavyweight champion of the world. This isn't a retired wrestler with bad knees. This is a man who has knocked out world-class athletes for a living.
Precisely. And that's the critical disconnect that just got exposed in the most brutal way possible. There is a fundamental difference between being a skilled boxer for an influencer and being a heavyweight elite. It's the difference between being good at a video game and being a soldier. Jake Paul has improved, no doubt. He has power. He has timing. But Anthony Joshua? He possesses what we call heavyweight consequence. When he lands flush, he doesn't just score points. He alters anatomy.
And that's what happened. It wasn't a TKO where the ref jumps in to save him while he's stumbling. This was lights out, immediate damage. But here is my question. Do you think this changes the industry? Because up until now, the narrative has been Jake Paul is disrupting boxing. But now that he's waking up with titanium in his face, does the narrative shift to Jake Paul survived a mistake?
It has to. It absolutely has to. Look, the appeal of these crossover fights was always the what if factor. What if the loudmouth kid actually wins? It was built on the suspension of disbelief. But titanium plates are a very harsh dose of reality. It shatters the illusion that you can hack your way to the top of the fight game. You can market your way to a title shot, sure, but you cannot market your chin to withstand 250 pounds of force delivered by a master technician. This surgery isn't just a medical procedure. It's a receipt for the price of hubris.
It's interesting you mentioned hubris. Because even after the knockout, even with the surgery, there's this machine behind him that keeps turning. But I wonder about the psychological toll. Waking up and realizing that parts of you are permanently changed, teeth gone, metal in your jaw. That's a heavy price for a paycheck, no matter how big the purse was.
It's the Icarus moment, isn't it? He flew too close to the sun, and in this case, the sun was a right hand from Watford. But let's dig a little deeper into the societal side of this. We have millions of kids watching this. They've watched Jake Paul treat boxing like content creation, and for a long time, the content was winning. It looked easy. It looked glamorous. Now, the content is a hospital bed. I think there's a sobering lesson here about the difference between clout and competence. You can have all the followers in the world, but the laws of physics do not care about your subscriber count.
That's a powerful way to put it. Physics doesn't check Instagram. But let's play devil's advocate for a second. Is there a world where this earns him more respect? He didn't run. He stepped in there. He took the risk that 99% of people wouldn't take. Is there a nobility in getting destroyed if you were brave enough to sign the contract?
There is courage, certainly. No one can say the man lacks heart. You don't sign to fight AJ unless you have a warrior's spirit or a total lack of self-preservation instincts. But there's a fine line between bravery and delusion. Respect? Maybe. But I think the overwhelming sentiment right now is pity, mixed with a bit of, we told you so. And that's dangerous for his brand. His brand is dominance. His brand is the problem child. It's hard to be the problem child when you're drinking your meals through a straw for the next 6 weeks.
Oof, that is a grim image. But you're right. The mystique is gone. Once you see the monster bleed, or in this case, get dismantled, the fear factor evaporates. So, Where do we go from here? Does influencer boxing die with this surgery? Or do they just lower the difficulty setting and go back to fighting other YouTubers?
I think the ceiling has been established. That's the key takeaway. The road to a world title gimmick is dead. It's buried. You can't sell that dream anymore because we've seen what happens when the dream meets the gatekeeper. I think they pivot back to entertainment. They go back to fighting peers. Because if they try to push this envelope again, if they try to put another content creator in, with a devastating puncher like Wilder or Joshua, we aren't going to be talking about surgery next time. We might be talking about a tragedy.
And that is the conversation nobody wants to have, but we're flirting with it. It feels like we walked up to the edge of a cliff, looked down, and saw the rocks. Jake fell onto them. Hopefully, everyone else takes a step back.
Exactly. The sport of boxing is the theatre of the unexpected, but it's also the theatre of pain. We forgot about the pain part, because the marketing was so shiny. Now, the shine is off, the titanium is in, and the reality is staring us right in the face.
Well, it's certainly a wake-up call for everyone involved, promoters, fighters, and fans. We wanted a spectacle, and we got a casualty. As Jake recovers, and we genuinely hope he heals up fully, it leaves us with a lingering question for the future of this sport. When the line between bravery and stupidity blurs, who is responsible for stopping the fight before it's even signed?
That's the question, and I don't think we're going to like the answer.
A heavy note to end on, but a necessary one. Thanks for breaking this down with me.
Anytime.